Inhabited silence. The apartment breathes around Jason like a living thing, walls exhaling stale air and secrets as he stands before the cracked mirror, studying a face that seems increasingly foreign to him each passing night. 43 years old, disheveled dark hair catching the amber glow of the flickering lamp, eyes that have seen too much and remember too little. He traces the reflection's jawline with trembling fingers, searching for something familiar in features that feel borrowed from a stranger. "Who are you?" he whispers to the glass, and for a moment, just a moment, he swears the reflection doesn't move its lips in sync with his words. The shadows in the corner deepen, pooling like spilled ink, and Jason turns toward them with the practiced paranoia of someone who has learned to expect the unexpected. The books scattered across his coffee table seem to rearrange themselves when he's not looking directly at them. And the unopened mail on his kitchen counter grows thicker each day despite his certainty that he hasn't left the apartment in weeks. Or have I? The thought arrives unbidden, carrying with it a chill that makes his skin crawl. He moves through the cluttered space like a ghost haunting his own life, stepping over newspapers with dates he can't remember reading, past photographs of people whose faces have been carefully scratched out with what looks like a razor, he says aloud, and the word hangs in the air like a curse. The appointment with Dr. Rains feels like stepping through water, each step requiring enormous effort as Jason finds himself in her office without remembering the journey there. She sits across from him, stern face softened by genuine concern, her late 50s confidence a stark contrast to his unraveling composure. "Tell me about the dreams again, Jason." "There's a man," he begins, words tumbling out faster than he can catch them. "He has no face, or maybe he does, but I can never see it clearly. He's always there, in the periphery, watching, waiting. Sometimes I think I know him, but when I try to focus on his features, they slip away like smoke." Dr. Rains nods, pen scratching against paper with a sound that reminds Jason uncomfortably of fingernails on glass. "And how do these dreams make you feel? Terrified? Guilty? Like I've done something terrible, but I can't remember what?" Memory is a fragile thing, Jason. Sometimes our minds protect us by hiding painful truths until we're ready to face them. Ready to face them. The phrase echoes in his head as he finds himself back in his apartment. Again, the journey home lost to a blank space in his mind. The room feels different now, heavier, as if the walls themselves are holding their breath. He tears through boxes he doesn't remember packing, searching through old photographs where his own face has been systematically removed, leaving empty spaces shaped like guilt. A letter falls from between the pages of a photo album, written in handwriting he recognizes as his own, but doesn't remember creating. "I can't keep running from what I've done. The boy in the mirror knows. He remembers everything I've tried to forget. He's coming for me. And maybe it's time." Jason's hands shake as he reads the words. And somewhere in the apartment, a door creaks open. A door he's certain was locked, leading to a room he's never noticed before. The hidden space is smaller than a closet, but feels vast in its implications. Childhood memorabilia fills the cramped quarters. A diary with pages torn out in violent strips, toys arranged in positions that suggest some long-forgotten game. And in the center of it all, a straight razor with rust-brown stains along its edge. A projector hums to life without his touch, casting grainy 8mm footage against the far wall. The images flicker and dance. A young boy, cowering in a corner while adult hands reach toward him. The same boy, years later, standing over someone else's prone form. A razor glinting in lamplight, blood on small hands that shake just like Jason's hands are shaking now. "You remember," says a voice behind him, and Jason turns to see himself. Not a reflection, not a dream, but himself as a child, eyes bright with an innocence that was stolen too early. "You remember what we did?" "No," Jason whispers, but the word carries no conviction. "You remember what they did to us first," the child continues, stepping closer. "You remember how it felt to be powerless. You remember deciding you would never be powerless again." The projector continues its relentless slideshow, images of pain received and pain given, a cycle of abuse that turned victim into perpetrator until the line between the two became indistinguishable. Jason sees himself at different ages, 8, 12, 16, 25. Each iteration carrying forward the damage of the last, each becoming more skilled at hiding the monster that lived behind his eyes. "I tried to forget," Jason says, tears streaming down his face. "You tried to run?" the child corrects. "But you can't run from yourself. You can't hide from what lives inside you." "Doctor." Rains materializes beside them both, her presence somehow both impossible and inevitable. "The mind fractures to protect itself, Jason. You created different cells to contain different aspects of your trauma. The victim, the survivor, the perpetrator. But they're all you. They've always been you." The apartment shifts around them, walls breathing in and out like lungs, shadows reaching toward Jason with fingers that feel like memories. He sees himself as he truly is, not just the victim of unspeakable acts, but someone who chose to perpetuate that cycle rather than break it. The faceless man in his dreams has always been himself, the self he couldn't bear to acknowledge, the one who did unto others as had been done unto him. "I hurt people," he says, the admission tearing from his throat like a physical thing. "Yes," the child self replies, "but you can choose to stop. The battle is not fought with fists or weapons, but with something far more difficult: acceptance." Jason must embrace not just the child who was broken, but the man who chose to break others in return. He must hold both victim and perpetrator in the same heart, acknowledge both truths without letting either absolve him of responsibility for his choices. The shadows in the room begin to recede as Jason stops running from them, stops trying to hide from the parts of himself he finds most unforgivable. The projector falls silent. The child self fades into memory, and Dr. Rains dissolves like morning mist, leaving behind only her final words. "Healing begins with truth, Jason. All of it." Alone in his apartment, truly alone now, perhaps for the first time in years, Jason faces the empty room and the fuller truth of who he is. The walls no longer breathe with malevolent light. The shadows are just shadows. The mirror reflects only his own face, lined with exhaustion, but no longer fractured into competing selves. He picks up the phone with steady hands and dials a number he's memorized, but never had the courage to call. "Police? I'd like to report some crimes. My name is Jason, and I'm ready to tell you everything." Outside his window, dawn breaks across the city, painting the sky in shades of possibility. The apartment fills with clean morning light, chasing away the last of the darkness that has lived in its corners for so long. Jason sits in that light and waits for the consequences of his truth, knowing that redemption, if it comes at all, will be measured not in forgiveness received, but in the courage to stop running from the inhabitant of his own silence. No,